Welcome back to Sean's show, everyone. I hope you had an excellent week here in the beautiful world of Earth. I'm here with George.
Hello.
Give it up for George. We have an incredible show, as always, for you. I have accepted who I am. I am a coffee lover. I'm a job lover. I am encouraging everyone. This is the end of the world. And when the end of the world comes, there's nothing but the only thing you can do is accept who you are. And I've accepted who I am. And I feel it's liberating. It's liberating to be who you are. You know, you don't want to be on your deathbed and look back at your life and say, you know, I should have had 4 or 5 liters of coffee every day because that's who I am. You know, you don't want to look back on your deathbed at 32 when the doctors are all huddled around you and they're saying, like, you have how much caffeine every day? And you're like, I'm like phasing in and out of reality. I have a problem. I have a problem with coffee, and I'm going to publicly be working through my journey of that's what I love about, like, some people are like, I don't want to go too crazy here. Some people, they have addictions that they're like, you know, what would be good for helping beat my addiction is like publicly going through the motions of beating it. And they think that that's like good. Like being in the public eye while you're fighting an addiction, I don't think it's productive. Now I'm going to do exactly that. I will be fighting my coffee addiction every week, and you can use it as a baseline for yourself. You know, if you're listening to this and you're struggling with something, a habit that you don't like about yourself, just know that I'm not perfect either. I drink 2 to 3 liters of La Colombe, not a sponsor, every single day, I mean. And I need it. I need it to survive. I need it to feel good. And life is not worth living without it, to be totally honest with you. So that's what's going on in my life. We have an excellent show for you. We're going to talk about ice. And I'm not talking about the substance that cools your drinks. I'm talking about the agency that is on the prowl. We're talking about ICE today. We're going to talk about all the people making money, sweet chunks of change on the deportation of people from America. We're going to talk about all of the tech company billionaires. They had a little soiree in the Oval Office. And we're going to talk about a hot mic that our friend Mark Zuckerberg had, which is going to be very fun. We're going to talk about a poll, a Gallup poll on what the young folks think these days about capitalism, and a lot more. So let's descend into madness. Buckle your seatbelt. If you're driving a car, crash that car into a hospital. If you feel so inclined. That was a joke. And let's get into it. But before we get to all that, the top story of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is, I have to start with this because it's the most important one. And that is Shake Shack is launching a French onion soup. Now, everyone in my life, they go, Sean, I'm terrified. I'm terrified of the state of this country. And I go, me too. And then they go, I'm really scared about, where we're going. I'm really scared. I feel like, they're using the F word, fascism. And they say, I'm really scared that fascism is here. And I go, me too. I'm scared of that too. And then, here's what I always say to calm people down. I go, I know you're worried. I know you're worried about fascism. I know you're worried about your rights being taken. I know you're worried about your future exploding in your face, and you're scared that you're not going to have the life that you want. You just want to live a life and have good friends and have a prosperous career. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to make some art. I don't know what you want to do. Maybe you want to open a dive bar. Maybe you want to start a Chinese restaurant. I don't know what you want to do. But you're worried that that future is going to be robbed because of the pending authoritarianism government in America. And I have good news for you. I have good news for you, and I have hope. There's a shimmer of hope. And what is that shimmer? It is the shimmer of the French onion soup offering. There it is up on the screen. The French Shake Shack. Shake Shack is going to be our guiding light. I've always loved Shake Shack. You know, you might think I'm an In-N-Out guy because I'm from California. I'm a Shake Shack shill. I'm a Shake Shack shill. Come on, that's great. I am a Shake Shack shill. Shake Shack is going to save us from authoritarianism with their French onion soup offering. Can we open the article? I think it's at the very top there. I didn't link it. It's on CNBC. I believe it's on CNBC. We have such a great it might be like, if you scroll down, it's like one of the top stories, which is incredible. I lied. It's not on CNBC. If you type in Shake Shack French onion soup and then Sean Riley, I'll pop up as the first customer. No, I'm kidding. I think it's I believe. Oh, here we go. Oh, it didn't pop. Okay, this must have been a couple days ago. All right, here's the headline, guys. This is just an incredible development in the world. So, Shake Shack launches a French onion soup items as it leans into premium promotions. This is our top story. This is what you need to know. You listen to this show to learn about what's important. And what's important in the world right now, I want you to go to Shake Shack. I want you to buy the French onion soup. If you want to avoid, this is the new Shake Shack promotion. Would you like to avoid deportation? Buy the French onion soup and protect this nation. I've always said this. You know, I don't know who, it was one of the presidents was like, what's good for GM is good for America. What's good for Shake Shack is good for America. You understand? Shake Shack is one of the most innovative companies on the market right now. I've always supported them. Whenever I eat Shake Shack, I don't know if you guys have ever eaten Shake Shack. Whenever I have a simple meal from Shake Shack, which would be like a burger, a soda, and some fries, I'll have a standard Shake Shack order for a person. And then I will feel like I want to kill myself. Have you ever eaten a Shake Shack burger? When you eat a Shake Shack burger, the next hour or so is like some of the most suicidal ideate. I have, whenever I eat Shake Shack, I actually have suicidal ideation afterwards. It's such a heavy meal that I actually want to commit suicide. Like I literally one time I had Shake Shack and then I went to an observatory thing where you see New York from and I wanted to jump. I looked over the ledge and I was like, it would be a lot easier for everyone in my life if I jumped. I needed to jump. Shake Shack, I don't know what they're putting in Shake Shack. I wouldn't be surprised if Palantir is putting microchips in the Shake Shack burger. That's why it's so heavy. That's the microchips getting into your bloodstream, okay? They're tracking you. And the French onion dip, the French onion soup at Shake Shack is just another psyop. You understand? It's another psyop. Let's scroll down. I want to see some details here. The key points. So this is where we're at. So we live in a nation where there's two Americas, okay? And the good thing is you get to choose. Either you get and it's a very simple choice. I always tell this to people. You have choices. You have choice in America. Remember that. You have choice in America. It's not like you're being controlled and you have no choice. You have choice. So here are your choices. Get deported to South Sudan, or you can love this country and be a part of our society, which means you can buy the $10 Dubai chocolate pistachio shake. That's your choices right now. Would you like to be deported to South Sudan, or would you like to buy the 10 guys. Would you like to buy a Dubai chocolate pistachio shake for $10.99 USD? Those are your options. The Shake Shack CEO Rob Lynch told CNBC, this is unbelievable. I cannot believe that this word. I'm by the way, guys, I know no one listens to this, but I'm literally right about everything. And I want you to know that, like, clippers, clip this shit up 5 years from now when I'm in jail, clip this up and put it on the internet and send it to CNBC, because I'm right about everything. I was talking about Palantir in 2023, bitch. I was a shareholder in Palantir at $12 a share. Okay? I sold it at 20 for ethical reasons. Not ethical reasons. I needed my girlfriend's expensive. No, I don't know. Look, you do what you can in life, right? But I was right about Palantir 2020. Look, go to episode 3 of Sean's show. What episode are we on? 106? Go to episode 3 of this show and you will find that I was talking about Palantir. You want to know what else I was talking about? I was talking about the word democratization. What does that word mean? What does the word democratize mean? It's a verb. And what it means is to fuck you in the ass. If ever anyone says that things are being democratized, that means you will be sent to the gulag. When things get democratized, it means that the gulags are coming. It means that what it really means is that you will be hanged. Okay? And so the CEO of Shake Shack, Rob Lynch, says that, here's a quote from him. It's the democratization of fine dining. Now I want to go to a Shake Shack and I'm going to ask for the French onion dip burger. And I'm going to eat it. And if I don't feel like it was a fine dining experience, maybe I go into the Shake Shack HQ with an assault rifle. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe I go, I'll democratize terror. I'm going to democratize. You tried. You're going to sell it as a democratization of fine dining. Now, democratization, this was something I was talking about years ago. Democratization. When CEOs use the word democratization, what that means is that they're taking something that was historically only offered to the wealthy, like fine dining, and they are diluting it and making it available to you in a very shitty way. Okay? It's the availability of something. It's a scam. They are scamming you. Okay? Paying for food is not democratic. This is another example about how the tech elite, the 1%, the people that really run this country, they take words from politics like democracy, They're making democracy a verb. Why? Now democratize. What's going to happen next? Okay. I think what we're going to have is, they're co-opting, the CEOs of this country, America, are co-opting words like democracy to sell you products. Another example I can think of is Robinhood. Are you guys familiar with Robinhood? Robinhood is a brokerage that lets you buy stock for free with 0 fees. And they say, we're democratizing investing. We are democratizing the ability for you to buy stock, and you don't pay a fee. And there's no catch. Wow. You're telling me, wait, you work in Silicon Valley and you spent billions of dollars on this infrastructure, and then now there's no catch? I'm sold. So wait, I can just buy stock and there's no catch? I can just buy the French. So wait, you're just going to give me a fine dining experience and there's no catch? Of course there's a catch. There's always a catch. Democratizing. This is a democratization of suicidal ideation. You are, I really can't emphasize how bad the experience of Shake Shack is. I remember the first time I ate Shake Shack fries, I was touring Wall Street. I was in college because I didn't have Shake Shack on the West Coast. And I ate the fries, And I was like, these fries taste like shit. And then the person working at Shake Shack was offended. They were like, you don't like the fries? I'm like, no, I don't like the fries. And she was like, what can we do to make the fries better? I'm like, are you a CIA agent? Why do you care about what the fry? You're the cashier. But we will talk about ICE. Let's keep going down. I do want to, look at that offering. They call it an offering. It is, you know what's interesting? Here's another word, offering. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but an offering, Where else do you, so wait, there's a product offering. You are being offered, I wouldn't say that this is a product offering. This is a ritual offering. You eating this is part of their cult. Can we zoom in? I mean, it looks good. It kind of looks appetizing. Look at that. The French onion, look at that. This is a food show. If you're just listening, it's just a normal, it's actually not a photo of the Shake Shack burger. It's actually a photo of me being electrocuted after it. I mean, this is why America deserves to fail. The real reason America deserves to fail is that it's because of the French onion offering. Okay? This is the real reason that you need to leave now. This is the real reason you have to leave now. The moment the French when companies start to combine the French onion dip with a burger, this is how you know our country's this is fucked. This is what capitalism does to a country. Is it creates things that should have never existed. Okay? Let's go back to the article. I want to see if there's any other meat here. It's a Dubai. I mean, I just like, this is where we're at. And I guess the reason I'm focusing on this story first, you guys, is because this is what the majority of America, this is where the public's attention is at. Okay? The public's attention is not on Supreme Court rulings. No one cares. It just baffles me that no one cares about politics. It seems, and again, I mean, maybe in your circles, if you listen to this show, maybe you think, well, Sean, a lot of my friends talk about, all we talk about is politics. But you have to understand that, like, I was in Columbus, Ohio. Everyone in Columbus, Ohio is ecstatic. They're beating down the doors. People are self-immolating in front of Shake Shack because they're demanding a French onion offering. I honestly, if Shake Shack doesn't allow me to eat this stuff every day, now that Shake Shack has allowed and opened the floodgates of the French onion offering, if they get rid of this, I'm self-immolating. I'm going to self-immolate in front of Shake Shack if they don't. Let me say it this way, and this is a threat. If Shake Shack ever gets rid of the $10 Dubai chocolate pistachio shake, I will douse myself in gasoline and I will set myself on fire. I will say, free the Dubai chocolate shake. I will say, liberate the Dubai chocolate shake. And the world will know my name. I will self-immolate for the worst reasons. I've said that I would self-immolate in front of the Marvel Cinematic Universe production company, HQ. That would be cool. I think another number two. But this is where the public's attention is at. People are being ripped away from their families and sent to South Sudan. And you're worried about whether or not you can get a Dubai chocolate shake? So let me get this straight. The Supreme Court has made speaking Spanish a crime. And your focus is on the French onion menu at Shake Shack? The Shake Shack French onion menu will be available on all channels starting September 12th. Now, I wonder why they didn't choose the day before. I would love that. These people are mediocre. Here's a marketing campaign. Check out the French onion dip menu here at Shake Shack starting on 9/11. 9/11. You know, the first thing I think of when I think of 9/11 is the perseverance of America. And the perseverance of this country can only be what's the word I'm looking for? Anthropomorphized? Made real through a quarter-pound beef patty topped with I don't even know how to say that. Gruyere cheese? Can I read what it is? Can we scroll down? So what I think is important is ice. But what America thinks is important is the made-to-order quarter-pound beef patty topped with Gruyere cheese, caramelized onion, crispy sweet onions, 2 types of onions. There's 2 types of onions on this burger. And roasted garlic Parmesan aioli on a toasted potato bun. It will also include the chain's first ever beer-battered onion rings and Parmesan garlic fries. Like the Dubai Shake, it's priced at a premium compared with the chain's other items at $10.99. The Dubai Shake was the highest priced shake in the company's history. And it sold out nearly, I'm not lying, it sold out nearly everywhere. We're democratizing fine dining. We are really bringing great value to the marketplace by delivering burgers that you're going to have to pay $25 for. Wow, I like this guy. See, this guy is, you can tell by the way he talks that he's a fucking savage. You don't have a choice. You will buy the Dubai chocolate shake. Here's what he says. We are really bringing great value to the marketplace by delivering burgers that you're going to have to pay. He uses the words, have to pay $25 for in a local burger shop. And we're selling them for $10 or $11. Oh, okay. So that's that. I mean, let's keep going down. We'll move on. I think that that's where we're at. So that's our top story. Is that Shake Shack wants you to have a French onion burger. Now let's get to the less important news. Okay, so I want you to go try out the Shake Shack burger. Try the Dubai. I want you to go to Shake Shack. If people ask me all the time, Sean, I feel hopeless in my life. I feel hopeless and scared. What can I do to ensure the safety of myself and my community, my friends and family? Should I leave? Should I just go? Is this country unsalvageable? And I go, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you piss on this country? If you want to save America, I want you to go to an ATM. And I don't care if you don't have any money. If you have $10 in your bank account, I want you to spend your last $10. I want you to go to a Shake Shack nearby. I want you to look, and I want you to go into that Shake Shack, and I want you to go, I would like one large Dubai chocolate pistachio shake. Here's the last $10 I have to my name. I sucked a man's dick for this $10. I would like one Dubai chocolate pistachio shake, please. And I want you to drink that shake. And while you're drinking the Dubai chocolate, what is Dubai chocolate? I don't know. While you're drinking it, I want you to remember that is America. The Dubai chocolate shake is America. America is the export of other cultures and packaged and productized and democratized for your enjoyment if you're white. That is the power. That's the power of this country, okay? So I want you to remember that. And, if ICE comes to take you away, here's the thing. This all connects. If you are drinking a Dubai chocolate shake, maybe ICE looks the other way. Maybe if you are speaking Spanish, but you're also drinking a Dubai chocolate shake, maybe that can be the cover story, okay? Because I think that if you're drinking a Dubai chocolate shake, maybe you should buy a shake and throw it at ICE. Throw it at ICE. maybe what I want you to do is get the pistachio, shake, and I want you to drink it, and I want you to be grateful because our country is doing well. Things are good. And if you don't think things are good, then clearly you're not having enough chocolate shakes. Okay. But let's get to our next story. I think that, let's see. So, I mean, the top, I actually think it's on the bottom there, but let's take, so yeah, that link right there, immigrants right there. So less important than the Shake Shack story, and kind of a minor news story that I will cover. Not a big deal. This story, not a big deal. Sometimes something happens and, this is not a bellwether for anything bigger. This is just a thing that happened to one guy. Not as important as the Shake Shack story. That's why we started with the Shake Shack story, because that was the most important one. And I talk about the less important stories as the show progresses, okay? That's how I've always done it. But I feel like we have to cover it because it's been a slow news week. It's been a slow news week, and this is kind of the only thing that I really was able to find. Not a big deal. Hey, not a big deal. That's how like a lot of the media is telling it. Like, hey, not a big deal. Like, what's really important is the Shake Shack stuff. But hey, we're a media company and we kind of have to cover everything. So like, not a big deal. But like this guy, he was in America, and he got sent to South Sudan, Anyway, the Shake Shack stuff's really what's most important. But there was this guy and like, ICE, anyway, this ICE, the Immigration Customs Enforcement Agency. Sometimes, ICE, they sometimes they do stuff, and they found this guy and they kind of arrested him, and they sent him to South Sudan, and that's kind of just what South Sudan. Do you know South Sudan? It's a country in Africa, and it's a war-torn country in Africa. That's kind of how the conversation went. I think that's how the conversation went. Is whoever at ICE deported this guy to South Sudan. I would love to have been a fly on the wall for this conversation. Just in the room, and they're on Zoom. And this story came out, and whoever is at the top of ICE is like, what the fuck? This is a mistake. This was clearly a mistake. And guarantee internal conversation went something like this. The main the president of ICE was like, hey, why am I hearing that you guys deported a guy to South Sudan? And the agents were probably like, well, I'm sorry, boss, that we just, we looked at his paperwork and we sent him to, he checked, we just kind of chose a country. We just kind of chose a random country, and South Sudan came up as a country that maybe would be in it, that's where we sent him, boss. We're sorry. Have you tried the new pistachio, Dubai chocolate pistachio? Have you tried that yet? No. We'll go. Let's go next week. Have you tried the new French onion dip Shake Shack burger? Yeah. No, I haven't. Well, let's go next week. All right. Well, get this guy out of South Sudan. So the crazy thing here's the headline. South Sudan repatriates Mexican man deported from U.S. in July. Now, this is scary. I don't know what race you are, whoever you're listening. I really don't care. But what's scary is there's no like rule or logic to this anymore. The rule there is actually the rule and the logic of these deportations that are happening that ICE is carrying out is just fuck you. It's just fuck you. That's what it is. It's like to carry out. To send a guy. Let me just read the headline, then I'll tell you why it's crazy. So let's take a look. And actually, respect to South Sudan. I've actually. Here's how you know that America's plunging into fascism. Is that South Sudan actually sent this guy back. I gotta be careful when I say back to Mexico. Sorry, not back to Mexico. Sent him to Mexico. So, like, if there was... Okay, so can you scroll down? Let me just read the article to give you guys more context. So, South Sudan said Saturday it repatriated to Mexico a man deported from the United States in July. Okay. The man, a Mexican identified as Jesus Munoz Gutierrez, was among a group of 8 who had been in government custody in the East African country since their deportation from the U.S. So again, we don't know. We don't know if this guy was a U.S. citizen. We don't know his immigration status. And, again, I'm gonna just go forward with my take without that in mind. But let's just get to the heart of what this is. Even if let's give a lot more grace and credit to ICE than they deserve. They deserve 0 credit. But let's just assume that, like, you want to change what they are not. This is what ICE is doing. What they're doing is not what the thesis of the Trump administration says their thesis is. Okay, their thesis is that they are going to crack down on crime. This is something that, like, is something that every Republican administration has always wanted to do. Is crack down on crime, violent crime. I don't think anyone, and it works because it's fear-mongering. You understand? It works because no one wants violent crime. No one wants that. Okay? Everyone wants to live in safe communities. Okay? Fair, equitable, safe communities. Okay? So that the reason that I think people they hammer that so much. We're going to crack down on crime. We're going to crack down on crime, violent crime committed by people that are not here legally. That is a very easy marketable thing to say to a general base, and a lot of America will be like, I think that sounds. It's easy to get Americans on your side with that policy. Okay, but what is actually happening? And if you were to actually carry that out in a reasonable way, the way to do that in a reasonable way would be maybe, hey, we're gonna, they're not even doing it in a reasonable way. They're sending people that are not even the only quote unquote crime that they're committing is that they're not here quote unquote legally by the letter of the law, and they're they're sending them to South Sudan. Now I thought we lived in a country where if you commit a crime, then you go to jail in America. That is, that's kind of been something. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm stupid because I thought that if you committed a crime and you were found guilty of a crime, you go to jail in America. So that's not what happens. I guess what you can expect is if you commit. I mean, if you think that ICE is going to stop at people that are here illegally, quote unquote, and sending them to South Sudan, you're wrong. They're going to send me to South Sudan. Look at the color of my skin. They will send me to South Sudan, and that's the future of where we're going. And the crazy thing is that the South Sudanese government actually is more. You know that your country's fucked when the South Sudanese government is treating people better. Maybe we're actually better off in South Sudan. Maybe it's always been the case that South Sudan and these countries that we think are like really scary countries, maybe, you know, maybe we're the baddies, which is an old SNL sketch, I believe. There's a bunch of these Nazis on a boat, and they're like looking at each other, and they're like, "Hey, why is our logo a skull and crossbones? Are we the baddies?" That's kind of where we're at in America. It's like we're where we're at. That's the conscious of America right now. We're realizing that we're the baddies. Are we the baddies? Are we the baddies? Yes, we are the baddies. Okay, and not in like a hot, sexy way. We're not like baddies. We're not like hot women. We're like baddies in the sense of like authoritarian assholes. So, let's scroll down a little bit here. So this guy got sent to South Sudan, and then South Sudan was nice enough to send him to Mexico. Let's keep going down. The repatriation, here's a little quote. The repatriation was carried out in full accordance with relevant international law, bilateral agreements, and established diplomatic protocols. That's, I think, what South Sudan said. So South Sudan is like, hey, you guys aren't even following international law. That's how fucked America is that South Sudan was like, hey, you guys are being a little bit authoritarian. The government that like sends, makes children, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's the government or a rebel group. The South Sudan is a country where children are made to snort gunpowder mixed with heroin, which is called brown. Look it up. It's horrific things happen in South Sudan. I read a book and I watched a documentary about these child soldiers that, imagine you're 9 years old and, you just start like the adults around you just make you snort gunpowder mixed with heroin and they make you go shoot at other kids. That place has decided that America is not following the law. Okay? That should really make everyone worried that South Sudan is saying, hey, you guys aren't following immigration law. Okay. So rights groups have argued that the Trump administration's increasing practice of deporting migrants to third countries violated international law and the basic rights of migrants. The reality is that basically in America, as a migrant, you don't have any rights. You don't even have the basic rights. Here's the thing. Karma, I believe in karma. And whether it be in my lifetime or my children's, I don't have kids, my children's lifetime, hopefully we can get IVF. I don't know. Here's how crazy my life is I'm like, I hope we can get IVF and fertility treatment when like we're literally going to like be in a water war. That's how disconnected a lot of people are in America, is their concerns are about like, I hope I can afford IVF someday. You're going to be fighting for water. You're going to be killing your neighbors for water. There will be no IVF. There will be no in vitro fertilization. There will be no utopia. Okay? There will be no, kidney transplants. That will not be the level of healthcare that we're looking at in the next 20 years for Americans. The level of healthcare that we're looking at is, I hope I can get water that hasn't been tainted with Palantir nanobots. The water, okay? Again, that's the mismatch in expectations that we're at right now. But let's so this is kind of an example of what's happening. They're just deporting. Let's keep scrolling down. I want to be fair. I want to make sure I'm fair in my reporting and I'm not biased here. So I want to say this. The group of 8 men was convicted of serious crimes, including murder, homicide, sexual assault, lascivious acts with a child, and robbery, the Trump admin said. Okay. So that's what they said. And they, I don't know. They may be lying about that, but, that's what they said. None of the deportees is from South Sudan. The others hail from Cuba, Laos, Myanmar, Sudan, and Vietnam. Okay, so hey, if we're really giving them credit, if these are people that are not here illegally, they committed bad crimes, okay, and they even then, a first world quote unquote country that actually wants to follow the law and administer actual justice, administer actual real justice, put them in an American jail, okay? I'm not even saying that like criminals and murderers should walk free, whether or not you're here, whether or not I don't. Here's where a lot of where the left loses a lot of people is because they are struggling. I think as a narrative, it's hard. I think because they're struggling to delineate between enforcing the law and trying to prevent authoritarianism, I think. And so when you have people that have actually committed crimes and, it's the solution is not to just I think the solution here, send them to jail in America. When you start sending to people to third world gulags, that is what people have and that's, I think, where the political disconnect is that, like, I think Republicans think that people on the left would like convicted murderers to walk free on the street. No one wants that. No one wants that. No one wants a murderer to walk free on the street, regardless of their immigration status. But Republicans think that's what the left wants, and so their narrative and the left loses so much, I think, credibility in this way, and that allows the Trump administration to set up these gulags where they can send anyone to these gulags, whether or not you're an actual murderer. Okay, they'll start with the murderers because those are the people that it's easy for Americans to be like, well, I don't care what happens to a murderer. You killed someone. It's easy. That's why they start with these groups of people. But, again, like I said, guys, I believe in karma, and one day, Americans will be the refugees. I know it's hard to even think. I know it's hard to even process that. But one day, Americans will be the refugees. People from the wonderful city of Columbus, Ohio. That shithole. People from Columbus who like drinking beer and watching football. You guys will be in your Fords, your Ford F-150s, and you will be in your Toyota Corollas, and you will be fleeing. And you will be trying to go to Canada and Mexico. How about that? There's a thought. As an American, I would hope, as an American, imagine this country does plunge into shit. A lot of people are going to be on foot and by car running to Mexico and Canada. And I want to ask you this. Would you hope that those countries would show you some sympathy? And what if they don't? Are you just gonna stay in the country that's gone to shit? Or are you gonna try to fight? Are you gonna try to flee? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when the fascism shows up at your doorstep? Are you gonna get a Shake Shack? What are you gonna do when Shake Shack discontinues the Dubai chocolate shake? Okay? Are you gonna run? And what will you do when the shoe is on the other foot and you're the immigrant? What are you going to do when you're the immigrant? What are you going to do? That's a question I want to ask. And are you going to, and I guarantee you, Americans are so fucking selfish that there will be so many people that will condemn Mexico and Canada for not accepting American refugees. And they'll be like, how dare you not accept us? I have rights. I have rights. How dare you? I have rights under international law. And I do not think that the world will have sympathy for Americans. I do not think that the world at large, a lot of the world wants America to fail. A lot of the world already wants us to fail. And the other chunk of people in other countries are at best neutral. Our allies are at best neutral about us, okay? And so I don't think that, like, who wants to accept American immigrants? Who wants to accept, what good are we? We suck. We really suck. At least immigrants that come here want to work hard. At least immigrants that come here want to work hard. We want to outsource labor all the time. That's all we want to do. We would like to go to another country as an immigrant and then outsource and then be like, okay, well, like, who's the immigrants for us? Like, we would go to Mexico as the immigrants and be like, okay, like, who's going to deliver my food? And they're like, you deliver the food. And you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But let's zoom out a little bit to the Supreme Court decision. I'm not sure if I have it linked, George, but so this is the general story. I mean, this is what's going to happen is we have the Supreme Court, just came out with this ruling that has basically allowed the Supreme Court has allowed authorities, police. This is now legal. They've now legalized the ability for ICE to stop you and investigate you based on your race and the language that you speak. That was the Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court, I want to talk about the Supreme Court. I think the Supreme Court, I don't know, what really pisses me off about the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court is like this institution that is revered in this elite academic, we're unemotional. We look at the Constitution and we read the Constitution and we're these scholars. I'm a scholar of the Constitution. Oh, yeah? What did you vote on recently? Well, I voted that if you look Mexican, we can just stop you for any reason and ask for your papers. The Supreme Court was never, and I'm going to say this, the Supreme Court has never been an institution based on principles or values. That should be obvious at this point. The Supreme Court has always been a political body. The Supreme Court has never been like in this idea of like, oh, I'm a Supreme Court justice. I've studied the law. I'm very smart. I went to Yale, and I'm going to interpret the Constitution in a way that reflects, my scholarly learnings. Is a fucking bullshit lie. It's a bullshit lie to think that like what you do as a Supreme Court justice is interpret the facts of the Constitution and apply that lens to situations to vote and create laws and legislate and strike down legislation. That is not the job of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is an institution that has always held up the institutions of America, which are by and large to make the wealthy, to make the rich richer. Okay, and that's we all know this. Okay, we all know this. It's not like, and yes, there have been Supreme Court decisions. The Supreme Court is always last to act. The Supreme Court is a retroactive. It's a lagging indicator of social progress. You know what I mean? Like, things are not, the Supreme Court is never like a preemptive body that protects your rights. The Supreme Court has always been like, I guess we'll give black people the right to vote. Okay, fine. Like, they're like a teenage girl. It's like a teenage girl. Like, the Supreme Court is literally like a teenage girl. Like, if you if like a teenage kid that's like, hey, are you gonna do your homework? ugh, fine, fuck. It's like that's the energy of the Supreme Court. And now they're not even doing that. Now the Supreme Court is like a young, troublemaking 20-year-old kid, like a fuckboy. The Supreme Court is like a fuckboy. Like, the Supreme Court now is such a political body that, like, for a long time, the Supreme Court was just like, oh, fine, I guess we'll let women vote. I guess we'll let women own property. Fine. If you want it so bad, fine. They signed the law. Fine. In a 5-4 decision, women get to own property. What a great world that is. Guys, and then we're like, yay. Oh my God, the Supreme Court, historic Supreme Court ruling. Women are not property anymore. What an incredible institution that works. Hey guys, great news. Half of the people that this is real, guys. This is the history of the Supreme Court. It's like, great news, everyone. Half of the men that went to Yale and Harvard think that women shouldn't be property anymore. Half of the guys that they all went to Harvard and Yale. They're very smart. Half of them think that now it should be a crime to rape your wife. What an incredible progressive body. What a progressive body. So that's been, the bar is in the ocean. The bar is at the Earth's mantle. And now somehow the bar is lower than that. The bar has gone from in the mantle core of the Earth to being melted. The bar is melted. There is no bar. The bar is no longer. The bar is melted into the lava. The bar is lava, okay? And the floor is lava. LA is lava. You can't go outside anymore. Because now the Supreme Court has gone from like begrudgingly giving you rights to taking them away and being like, you know, that's like punk rock. Like, fuck you. You know? And so I don't want to hear like anyone praising the Supreme Court. The history of it is yes, it's a retroactive body. It's retroactively progressive, which should be no surprise to anyone, because liberal academic elite institutions are also retroactively progressive, you know, and they are praised for these decisions that they've made that are ultimately only after their arm has been twisted by the people. You only get social progress after you've twisted the arm of the academic liberal whites. And then who gets the credit? Who gets the credit for the social movements? Liberal academic whites that went to Harvard, you know? But now somehow, and that was the standard, and now the standard is even less than that. So what is this story? This is 19 hours ago. Supreme Court, let me read you this headline because it is fucking crazy. Supreme Court lifts limits on LA immigration raids. So let's scroll down. Let's take a look. Let's look at these masked men. Let's really, I want to sit on this image for a bit. If you're just listening, we have a bunch of ICE agents posing, and they've got assault rifles and they've got masks over their face. Let's talk. What's so funny? It's kind of woke. I thought, here's the thing. I thought wearing masks was woke. Wait, hold on. I thought wearing masks was like a woke pussy thing, and you're like, like you're brainwashed. Like, I thought wearing masks. So hold on. If I want to wear a mask to prevent the spread of disease, I'm like, I've been brainwashed by the woke media, by the woke left. But if I want to wear a mask, but wearing a mask to deport people to South Sudan, that's okay? It's okay? So it's okay to wear a mask when you're deporting people to South Sudan. That's fine. That's not woke. That's not pussy and woke. But wearing a mask to stop the spread of disease is woke and pussy and makes you like a cringe leftist. Okay? the masks, the fact that the ICE agents are wearing masks, it's so fucking pathetic. It really is so fucking pathetic. And you know what they say? They go, well, it's it's controversial. What we're doing is controversial, and like it's controversial, and like we don't want to get doxxed. We don't want to get doxxed, and I have to protect my family. I have to protect my identity because, like, you know, what we're doing is like is controversial. Why is it controversial? Why do you think? Why? Wait a minute. Let's think about this. You have to wear a mask because if you didn't wear a mask, you would be afraid for your safety. Now, what are you doing that would make people want to hurt you? What would you be doing? What would you be doing such that people would go to such lengths to take your face and find out who you are and potentially hurt you or threaten you, that you feel the need to wear a mask and sunglasses? By the way, your sunglasses look cheap, okay? Get some style, okay? At least the Nazis had style. You guys don't even have style. At least the Nazis had Hugo Boss, okay? That's the thing, is it's not even sexy fat. It's, okay, sorry. Fascism is not sexy. But the Nazis, they had Hugo Boss. They had, you know, I condemn them completely, and they're bad people. But they were stylish. You guys are not even stylish. You have no style. You're wearing $10 sunglasses from Chevron. You're going to Buc-ee's, and you're buying sunglasses before you deport people. It's pathetic. Get some fucking style. You guys are such fucking pussies. If you're gonna do it, take off your fucking mask and be a man. Be a fucking man. You know? Be a man. Do it in the open or don't do it at all. Okay? Because you're not, I mean, do it with your full chest. You're going to be out here deporting, and you know, and here's where I think I can actually be a help. I can help. Here's where I think, which is not actually, but here's how I think white people are trying to help in the wrong way. Is that I think that, like, you know, as a white man, obviously I've seen thousands of hours of content of white guys with cameras harassing police. I don't know. For some reason, that's like my ASMR. My ASMR, this is real. My version of ASMR, some people, their ASMR is like watching some dumb hot bitch go, ugh. That shit grosses me out. I don't know what it is. Everyone loves ASMR. I find ASMR fucking disgusting, and like it sends a shiver down my spine. To be like, hey, like I'm a hot bitch and I'm gonna do dolphin noises. It's like, ew, just stop. My ASMR is like arrogant white men with like wearing 8 body cams going into like police headquarters and being like, just standing there. I love that. I love it when a white guy just has 8 cameras and just stands in a police lobby, just like inviting them to come over. And it always goes the same way. The cops show up and they're like, hey man, like, can I help you? And he's like, some of them don't say anything. And then he goes, what's your business? They go, what's your business here? They just stand there. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. And then they go, hey man, like you can't be here. I'm gonna need your ID. And they go, here's the education. I want to educate you guys. When the cops come up to you and you're in a public space, and here's the thing. White people think that this applies to everyone, and it does not. Here's the thing about knowing your rights is it only helps if you're white. You don't think that other races of people know about this shit? I think that, and I'm guilty of this, and I think that I've learned since then, but like, you know, educating people on their rights, it's white people talk about it as if it's like this silver bullet. Like they go, oh, you're afraid of deportation? Well, clearly you don't know the 4th Amendment. That's not going to work. Well, wait a minute. You're telling me that, wait a minute, you were in LA and you got deported to South Sudan when you're not even from South Sudan? Well, clearly you should have known your rights. Oh, duh. It's his fault. Oh, it's his fault. He should, silly, duh. He should have remembered the Fourth Amendment. Wait a minute. 5 men with assault rifles wearing black masks grabbed you and threw you in a van and put you on a flight to South Sudan? Well, you should have known your rights, silly. Silly. Oh, you're so silly. You should have remembered the Fourth Amendment, your right against unlawful searches and seizures of yourself or property. If you had simply known your Fourth Amendment, you would not have been deported. That is like not the silver bullet that white people think it is. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not. It works for me, you know. That is truly. Hey, we're in Brooklyn. I'm gonna say it. That is my white privilege. I dream of a day. My white privilege is that I actually dream of a day when a cop tries to violate my rights. It'll never happen. Maybe it will. Here's the bright side of all this fascism is that maybe now white people will finally be able to use all of that shit that they learned that they've never had to use. Maybe now I can finally be like, name and badge number asshole. And they go, you can't call me an asshole. And then I go, First Amendment. Actually, I can, dick. I'm wearing my the pussy hat from what year was that? The women's liberate. I'm wearing my pussy hat. I'm like, fuck you, dick. And they're like, and here's the thing though, is when this gets bad, a lot of white people are going to be surprised when that does not work. Because that's the sad, violent nature of where our country's headed, is that if you think that your Bill of Rights is going to stop them from blowing your mom's head off, then I don't know what to tell you. If you think that it's this is just and you want to know why? You can thank the Supreme Court and you can thank the Trump administration. Okay? The Supreme Court has taken away even that. So now you don't even have those rights. Here's the crazy thing is, not only did you not have those rights actually, on what you had on paper, you didn't actually have. You understand? I'm talking about your rights. Most people in America, the rights that they thought they had because they were on a piece of paper, that's what they thought they had, but they didn't actually have them. Your rights could still be violated back then. Now, they're not even hiding the fact that that piece of paper never mattered. That the Fourth Amendment and the Fifth Amendment and the First Amendment and the Second Amendment never mattered. They never mattered. If it's convenient for them and their political agenda, then those things do not apply. So when the ICE agent rolls up to you, and so now with this, and here's why this story is crazy, is it's another step towards where we're headed as a country, which is fascism, which is that they have now made it legal. It's legalized. Authoritarianism is now legal in America. So this is the story. Check this out. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled sweeping immigration raids in LA can continue for now. Let's even just stop there. Continue for now. That's how it is. The Supreme Court says you can continue for now. Okay, so what does that even mean? Continue for now. Until when? I have a question. So the immigration raids, the illegal immigration raids where they disappear people to South Sudan can continue for now. You're a Harvard educated lawyer and you're on the Supreme Court and you have ruled that it is not unconstitutional to disappear people to South Sudan. That's okay? So it's constitutional for someone to be disappeared to South Sudan for now. It's just for now. Hey, no. And that's how they do it. Every step they mark it as the last step, and it is never the last step. Okay? They go, the raids can continue for now, lifting a federal judge's order that had barred agents from making stops without, quote, reasonable suspicion, which is obviously a phrase that I'm intimately familiar with. We used to live in a country where if a cop came up to you and they said, hey, and they want to interact with you, what you can say, and this is my white privilege right now. I love talking about it because it's not real. It's only real for white people. It is. I'm sorry, it's true. A cop comes up to you, on paper, you should be able to go, officer, what's your name and badge number? Number 2, you say, officer, what is your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime? And then when they go, well, you're being suspicious and we got a call. We have a phone call and we got a call that you've been acting suspicious. And then that's when you go, is suspicion? Oh, suspicion. Is that a misdemeanor or a felony? And then they go, well, I'm just doing my job and I have to investigate. This is how the interaction goes in people's minds. And what it really happens is it's 5 guys with masks on and assault rifles, and you're in a van. They have assault rifles and they're wearing masks, and you're in a van. Do you think that recording ICE, I mean, you should, but like, do you think that an iPhone is not going to stop ICE? They're going to do it. They're going to do it. They are doing it, and they're going to do it. Have you seen any of these videos where ICE takes people? Do you think that knowing your rights, you don't have rights? Knowing your rights? I don't even know my rights from my lefts. You think that knowing your rights, and that is what's sad, is that like so many people think that we live in the 90s. So many people think that we live in a 1990s America. Hey, wake the fuck up. 9/11 happened. Hey, newsflash, and I hate to bring up 9/11, so close to the anniversary. Is it that's kind of, I don't know if it's an anniversary. That's kind of a bad word for that. It is an anniversary. But wake the fuck up. 9/11 happened. You do not have rights anymore. 9/11 happened. You do not have rights. Your rights went away when those planes hit those buildings. Your rights went away when the Patriot Act was enacted, and your rights went away when Palantir raised $200 million in venture capital. Your rights went away when Palantir was founded and started working with the NSA, the CIA, and who else? ICE. And this all connects, but like, the reason for all of this, it's now the military industrial complex has expanded to become the deportation. There's a deportation industrial complex now. Now there's money in deportations. There's money, lots of good, sweet chunks of money. If you agree to create a company that helps ICE deport people faster, then you can become very wealthy. If you create a software algorithm that can sort through people's data and you can identify someone's citizenship status, their immigration status, based on data trends using AI, then you can get a government contract with ICE and you can become very wealthy. And that's exactly what's happening. And so all of these things are against all of this is momentum. They have so much momentum right now that they don't need to respect your rights. They don't need to. Because Trump is president. They don't need to. Fuck you, Trump's president. Trump's the president. That's kind of how they think. Let's keep going down. This is insane. I want to focus on the Supreme Court because I think that the Supreme Court is such a despicable body. It's a despicable, sick body, and this includes. I'm gonna be a little harsh here. I'm gonna include the Democrats on the Supreme Court. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say that they're equivalent exactly to the people that voted for this, but being a part of the Supreme Court means that you're buying in to the legitimacy of the body of the Supreme Court. And, you know, I'm not going to say that the people that voted for this and against this are equivalent in their ethical standards, but like it's, you know, it's just sick. It's fucking sick. The 6-3 decision of the conservative majority court allows agents to stop. Sorry, I really have, listen to this. This is insanity. The 6-3 decision of the conservative majority court allows agents to stop suspects based solely on their race, language, or job, while a legal challenge to the recent immigration sweeps in LA works its way through the courts. So they are allowed to detain you based on your race. I don't even know. I can't even believe those words came out of my mouth. ICE is allowed to detain you based on your race. What is this called? It's called racial profiling. The government, the police, the secret police, there are secret police. There's the fucking Gestapo. Are allowed to now stop you based on your race, your language, and your job. So if you work a certain job, or and you know what's crazy is it doesn't just apply to like Latino people. They fucking raided a Hyundai. It was like they raided a Hyundai car manufacturing plant with a bunch of like South Korean people working at it. You know, so it's not. It's like, and I go ahead.
The South Koreans were here to train the Americans on how to use that factory.
You're kidding me.
That's why they were here.
So they're not even okay. That's fucking insane. I mean, that's fucking insane. And here's the thing is, they call that a win. They call that a win. Okay? They are like, it's like, you know, in Hyundai, they make great cars. They make great cars. I'm like, I don't, you know, and again, I'm really trying to not make this like a super biased, like, I'm not just trying to, here's the thing, guys. I'm not just trying to spout like, you know, liberal talking points at you about immigration. I really want to hammer in like the fact that like this should not be a political left-right issue. This should be like, are you a human being or not? You know, like, let's keep going down. I mean, this is like, you know, what is enough? Oh, right. I forgot that Brett. I mean, like, it's, you know, people think that the Jews control everything. It's actually guys named Brett. Here's the thing. People go crazy with like, it's the Jews. It's guys named Brett. It's guys named Sean. Not me, but other guys named Sean. Brett. Here's the thing. Okay? Do I think the CIA and Mossad work together to create false flags to push authoritarianism across the world? Yes, I do. But it's not the cunning Jews. It's really the cunning Christians. You know? It's the cunning Anglo-Saxons. They are the real cunning. See, here's the thing is, you know, I mean, not to be actually, whatever. I'm not trying to like be racist here, but like isn't Brett like a rapist? Didn't he rape that chick? There was that huge story about he raped that woman when he was in high school. Amy Coney Barrett, something like that. And then he was rammed through, even though like there was this huge story it was like a months-long story about this guy being accused of rape. He look at this fuckboy. Can we get his image on the screen? I'm glad you pulled that up. Let's get fuckboy Brett on the screen. Look at this fuckboy. He's such a little fuckboy. Look at it. If you're just listening, he smiles like a little bitch. He smiles like a little bitch. He, again,
It's several women.
several women. Okay. So again, and hey, I know I just shit on the law. I'm a man of the, it's like, so a guy who's been credibly accused of rape gets to decide on legislation. He gets to decide on you know, this like going, I mean, and you know, I'm focusing on this part of the show, on this story for a reason. This hits really close to my heart because I grew up in the Silicon Valley, which is, you know, a lot of people's trajectories in their lives, they end up going into these spheres of power, whether it be whether they go to Palantir, whether they go into big law, whether they go to Wall Street. A lot of people in Silicon Valley aspire to go to those spheres of influence in the world. And I want to make it like totally clear, as someone who's like grew up around this kind of academic elite culture, people that go to Yale and people that go to Harvard are not smart, okay? They are not intelligent. They are not. They are socialized in, it's very simple. And like, we should not be looking up to people because they went to Yale and Harvard and Princeton. Don't look up to these people. All they did is they were born in the right circumstances. And I'm not saying that they don't work hard. Brett works really hard at beating the allegations. So props to him for working really hard on that. So I'm not saying they don't work hard, but they work hard on beating the rape allegations and working on the algorithms that help find out if someone you know, is here illegally. So let's move on to the so people are making a lot of money. Let's do this deportation industry story. So now that we kind of covered the like legal aspect of what's going on, let's take a look at what I'm more interested in, which is the actual financial side of what this is and the actual people that are involved. And you guessed it, it's all of our favorite people. All of my favorite friends, my favorite people are involved. So let's take a look at the headline real quick. So this is an article I found it on the Drudge Report. I actually have never heard of this organization, but you know, just so you know, fact check me on this. But the billionaire oligarchs and corporations profiting from ICE's deportation machine. Who do you think is involved in this? Let's take a look. It's all of our favorite people. We got Peter Thiel. We got Jeff Bezos. We got Brett. Probably a lot of guys named Brett. Let's keep going down. So it's Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel, Geo Group. Oh, so Geo Group actually is a company that we've covered in the past. It's actually a private prison. So obviously, private prisons are involved in the deportation of these people, as you know, to hold them. So let's really dive into this, and I think this will help people understand. Like, to me, it's all about incentive structures. Who is incentivized to do what? And so, what are the incentive structures? Because there's always going to be psychopaths that just want to make money, and they'll do whatever they want, despite the consequences if it makes them money. So, ICE, the budget, there was a $45 billion increase in funding for ICE, and a $30 billion increase for recruiting people to join ICE directly. So that's a fuckload of money. I mean, it's the New York Times has said that it's the highest funded law enforcement agency in the federal government. Now, let's really dig into this, okay? They even call it the deportation industrial complex. I I didn't even read this, and that's what they're calling it. They're calling it a deportation industrial complex. That's what it is, with everything from surveillance technology, airline transportation, to cloud services, and bank financing. That's how you know I'm a bad white. I call it financing. That's how you know I'm actually secretly one of the bad guys. If anyone ever says the word financing to you, you should put a bullet in their fucking head, okay? Finance, if you call it finance, that's a bad guy. If you call it finance, I mean, that's a guy who would curb stomp you for the rent. So let's go down. I want to talk about Palantir. So the first guy, if you just keep scrolling down, I love this little graphic because it just is just so great because it shows us, you know, all of the it just shows us all the people that are like involved, which is really they've made it easy. They're hiding in plain sight with this. Okay, so if you're just listening, at the center we have ICE as an agency, and then we have all these people that I'm sure you're not surprised to hear from that are involved in the So we have Jeff Bezos as a guy who's involved, and we have Geo Group, which is a private prison. We've got Citizens Bank, a lot of financial institutions. We have Microsoft. We have Google, Brown University. There's universities involved in this shit. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett. Okay? There are so many of my favorite guys just getting involved, rolling up their sleeves and making money without any values. You know, and that is what makes me so sick about all this shit. It makes me sick because I just like, I'm sorry guys, this episode hasn't been that funny. It's more sad. But like, you know, I try to make it funny with the Shake Shack thing. But like you know, it's Amazon is involved, okay? What I really want people to understand, I want people to understand this. What's so sad about this is that there are really thousands and tens of thousands of people that are involved in. Okay, let me back up again. Peter Thiel, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they are involved in this and they're getting a lot of shit for it. Okay? They are the figureheads and they're getting a lot of shit for it. But you know who's kind of getting a pass right now? There's a lot of people that are getting a pass right now because they are, you know, and they actually think that they're good people. And the people that I'm talking about are engineers and people that work in big tech that clock in and out every single day, and they're slowly helping to build this machine. If you are a Palantir engineer, I really want you to like reassess your values, okay? Because the money, I'm speaking to you as someone who was and is in the system, you know, and trying to leave. Is that like I understand it because I studied aerospace engineering and they dangled money in front of my face, okay? I could have worked at fucking Palantir. I could have worked at Raytheon. You know, I could have worked in the defense industry and got a lot of and made a lot of money doing that. And I understand that like it's hard for here's what's so sad about it is that like it's so hard to change the trajectory of your life, and they know that. The leaders of these companies, they get you. It's a golden handcuff. That's what they call it. It's a golden handcuff. If you work at Raytheon for 3 years, maybe you have a family, and that's what's sad. Maybe you have a family now, and you're a dad, and maybe you look at your kids and you're like, "Fuck, I don't agree with the shit we're doing," but like, you know, little Timmy wants to go to Six Flags, and I don't want to be a bad father or little Timmy needs, what if, I need to protect my kids. And it's part of my big theory, which is that dads are evil. Dads, when you become a father, you become evil. Okay? And that is, I'm kind of all over the place right now with this, but like these guys at the top, they believe in nothing except power and money. And they know that if they give you a hardworking, average guy with a wife and some kids, if they give you enough money so that you can provide for your family, you will shut the fuck up. You will clock in and you will clock out and you won't ask questions and you'll shut your fucking mouth. And maybe one day you actually drink the Kool-Aid and you actually start to defend Israel and ICE. And you're a paid asset. At that point, you're a bought and sold. Becoming a paid asset and a sellout, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, day by day by day. And you get used to the lifestyle and you get used to it. And you start to believe in all this bullshit. And that is why, it takes a lot of conviction to uproot your life to get out of this system, because it's a drug. This web, if you're just listening, this web of people, yes, you have the evil guys at the top, Jeff, Elon, and Peter, my friends. We have a group chat. But most of this web of people is just average people, and I have a little bit of sympathy for you guys. UPS, is that UPS? That's fucking. And that's the thing. There's like normal people. Again, if you work at UPS, I'm not saying that you're a foot soldier of fascism. Okay, there's a spectrum to this. You understand? UPS is that's crazy. But like, that is why it's like, I just wish that more people actually thought about their values and their goals in their lives and what they're doing and the impact of what they do. And the sad thing is that like it's literally, you get psyoped. If you work hard and you go to a good college and you get a degree and you want to work hard and be a person, I don't know, it's fine. You're an ambitious, young, hardworking person with skills. You can easily get psyoped into this. If you're not careful, you will end up, the whole economy is this now. The whole economy is government contracts for fascism. That's a lot of the economy now is, it's Dubai chocolate shakes or ice. I'm telling you, those are your choices. Either you can go with God and the light, and you can be involved in giving people what they need, which is a Dubai chocolate shake and a French onion dip burger. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Shake Shack contracted with ICE. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if Shake Shack was selling fucking French onion dip burgers to ICE. But so that's kind of the web of people that are involved. Let's keep going down. And we're going to land the plane with this. Happy 9/11. We're going to land the plane. How is Palantir involved? And again, I was talking about Palantir before any other comedian. Okay. I want credit. Give me my fucking credit. I was talking about Palantir when they were merely a $12 stock that no one had heard of, and people were calling me a nerd. It really upsets me. I'm right about so much, and I get no credit. It really makes me mad. It's like, I was talking about Palantir, and people thought that I was like this autistic loser. They're like, okay, loser, that's not marketable. Now all of those people are talking about how Peter Thiel and Palantir are authoritarian. I'm like, where's my credit? You don't give a shit. And that's the thing. A lot of critics of Palantir, you don't actually give a shit. I wanted to work there. I know this company, okay? I'm on the board of directors. And so I say that to say that, like, you gotta listen to me. I'm not right about everything. I'm right about a lot of stuff though. Palantir Technologies, deep and the reason you want to know the reason that I focused on Palantir a year and a half ago, it was because they got a contract with ICE. They've been working with ICE. ICE was like their main bread and butter for a long. Now they're expanding into other great things, but their bread and butter was ICE. So Palantir Technology, listen to this shit. Palantir Technologies sits at the core of ICE's deportation machine. Palantir mobilizes and weaponizes its data management software to help ICE locate, surveil, and seize individuals. Perhaps more than any other corporation, Palantir is the critical data gathering tool, the indispensable anchor that undergirds ICE's war on immigrants. Peter Thiel. Thiel is an arch-right libertarian and one of Big Tech's top power brokers. We know this. He's been a close backer of J.D. Vance and Thiel's network. We all know Peter Thiel. We all know him. Let's keep going down. So here we go. Palantir's work for ICE is being expanded with a $30 million contract to build a new immigration OS surveillance platform. I mean, how much more dystopian can you get than that? Immigration OS? Immigration OS will facilitate targeting and enforcement prioritization, which includes the streamlining selection and apprehension operations of illegal aliens based on ICE enforcement priorities, and assist with self-deportation tracking, which includes real-time visibility into instances of could you scroll down a bit? Deportation. I mean, Palantir's massively cashing in. The Wall Street Journal reported that all told, Palantir received more than $322 million from government contracts, a 12% increase from the same period 2 years earlier. Alex Karp has said he expects Palantir's earnings to grow tenfold in the next 5 years. So guys, I mean, all this data, what does all this data mean? And again, what should scare you is that, like, we've listened to Alex Karp and Peter Thiel on this show. We've listened to the way they think. We know who they are. And we know what they think. And I don't have to remind you that Peter Thiel is a guy who believes in cryogenics, in freezing yourself. He wants to be immortal. Peter Thiel wants to be immortal. He wants us to go to Mars. He thinks that we should go to Mars and colonize Mars. That is the delusion of this man. Peter Thiel wants to work with Elon to colonize Mars, freeze our bodies, and live forever. That's what he talks about. But what he actually wants to do is create a white Christian ethno-state. And you know what's so sad is people just get fooled so easily. People get so fooled. I don't even know how to tap into this, but like there's almost this crazy, like, I'm really thinking about, like, when I was in college, a lot of my friends loved Elon Musk. They loved him. They were obsessed with him. They loved this man. They believed in his utopian cause, and they wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to be a part of this utopian cause. And, you know, in 2015, to hate Elon Musk was to hate progress. And I happen to hate both. No, I'm kidding. But I hated Elon, and it was almost like I would draw a comparison to, like, Israel, where it's like, if you hate on Israel, you're an anti-Semitic. There's a comparison here where if you hated Elon in 2015, you were considered, like, a Luddite, like you want to live in the past and you're just a hater and you're jealous, right? And so many young, smart people were sold this utopian ideal for the future. We're going to go to Mars. We're going to live forever. That was the exciting vision that they were sold. And the reality is, hey, you're working on an ethno-state. Yeah, we're going to go to Mars someday, but first we need an ethno-state. Wait, hey Elon, are we going to go to? It's like these fucking nerd loser lemming. You're a lot of nerds and engineers. This is like an anti-engineer show. I am very anti-engineer. If you're an engineer, you're probably a lemming for the deportation industrial complex, and you don't even know it. That's the crazy thing that I want to get through your thick fucking skull, you autistic bitch. If you're an engineer in 2025, you are a lemming for the deportation industrial complex, and you don't even realize it. Because you wake up every morning and you work at Google and you think that you're like this cool, smart guy. You think you're cool and smart because you have an Asian girlfriend and you get your dick sucked and you're a principal engineer at Google. You are nothing and your legacy will be nothing and you will die as a soldier of the ethno-state. Or you can take the way out, which is subscribing to the Sean Show Patreon. The only way to fight the ethno-state is to subscribe to the Sean Show Patreon. And I've said this over and over again. You go, Sean, well, what can I do? How can I make a difference? It's subscribing to my Patreon where I don't put out any content. It's the only way to beat the white ethno-state is to give a white man $5 a month. No, look, guys, I don't even, oh, sorry, we're going a little long. We have to watch these videos too. So let's start with this one. Well, a couple quick videos and we'll wrap. So the reason, let's start with this tech company hot mic video. So here's the crazy thing is the people at the top of these tech companies, guys, they don't even know what they're doing. The chicken's head is cut off. Recently, a lot of these tech companies, Trump had this like business roundtable, and a lot of these tech companies, were around the table, and they were all like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but all these tech company CEOs were sitting around the table and with Trump, and they were like, "Thank you, Trump. It's such an honor to be here, and I'm investing $50 billion into AI." And then the other companies would be like, "Oh, fuck, I got to beat that. I'm investing 80 billion." And then by the end of the table, it's like, "I'm investing $100 trillion into AI." And so Mark Zuckerberg was caught. Let's watch this little video.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh, gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28 in the U.S. Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, it's significant.
That's a lot. Thank you, Mark. It's great to have you.
Sorry, I wasn't ready to do a for announcement. He said I wasn't sure what number you wanted to go with.
It just makes So if it was kind of a tricky, but what Mark Zuckerberg says this number, he goes, "We're investing $600 billion in AI by 28, which, by the way, not enough. We need more. We all love AI. This is a pro AI show. We need more." And then he gets caught on the hot mic, and he turns to Trump and he's like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, sir. I didn't know what number you wanted to go with." Doesn't that sound like someone who's a little bitch? Sorry, sir. Was that enough? I'm sorry, sir. Please don't kill me. That, honestly, I think Mark Zuckerberg might be an asset. I think he might be under the control of the Trump administration. That is not a man. And you know what's so funny though? I kind of love it. I kind of love to see Mark Zuckerberg cower. It's fun to see a little fuck like that grovel at the knees of another man. You want to know why? Because Mark Zuckerberg's whole life has been controlling other people. And so for him to look at Trump and be like, I'm sorry, was that enough money? 600 billion? And it's like, and that's because the whole thing is a house of cards. The whole thing is a house of cards. Because like, that's like, Mark Zuckerberg's acting like me. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just out here bullshitting. Guys, you realize once we hit pause on the recording, I look at George and I go, did I say it? Was that good? I look at George and I go, was any of that true? But again, I'm not the leader of a $1 trillion company. Okay, there's a difference. I'm only spewing misinformation to like 5 people. I look at George, I'm like, is the Supreme Court real? Or I go, but like that was awesome. It's awesome to see all these companies grovel at Trump's feet. Okay, this next video, I love it. This is why people are losing. This next video is why people are losing faith in America. This is a North Carolina senator, and he was caught trading stocks, which we all know that they do. He was caught trading stocks on the floor of the Senate. I don't know how much more corrupt you can get. Let's watch. I mean, so this is a video. If you're just listening, he's on the floor of the Senate, and he's on his brokerage account looking, and he's trading stocks on the Senate floor, probably while also voting on legislation that affects the stocks that he is buying. And that is just fucking insane. He has no shame. You can pause it. I mean, this is where we're at in America, you guys. And this is where we're at in America, is you have senators that are on the floor of the Senate. And there's bills that are coming across the Senate floor where it's like, who should we award this military contract to? And it's like, should it go to Lockheed or should it go to Boeing? And he's like, literally like buying Lockheed and voting for Lockheed. It's like, should we award this contract? Should we award this drone contract to Lockheed Martin? Hold on, not yet. That's what he's doing. They go, all right, this next bill we're queuing up. This next bill is going to give $50 million in contracts awarding to drone manufacturers. We're thinking it might go to Lockheed Martin. Senators, enter your vote now. It's like, wait. Gotta buy some Lockheed Martin derivative options. Okay, go. We're good. That's where we're at. So I don't know how you can have faith in a country that does stuff like that. And guys, that's our show. That's our show today. I hope you enjoyed. I tried to make it funny. I love you very much from a distance, as always. Like, subscribe on YouTube, review the show on Spotify. Follow me on Instagram, Sean Riley Comedy. And, I'm on tour, seanreillycomedy.com. I'm going to Austin and Dallas to do some stand-up comedy. If you're listening right now, I think that I've sold you enough on the premise of the show. And I'll tell you what, if you say that if you go to one of the shows and you say, hey, I listened to your show, your podcast, I'm going to laugh in your face for being such a fucking loser. So that's all the stuff I have coming up, you guys. Again, if you're in America, stay safe out there. It might be time to go to South Sudan. We may be recording this from South Sudan in the near future. But I hope you have a great week. I love you guys. Thanks for being a fan of the show. I try to keep it real. We are unsponsored. We are financed entirely by my career on Wall Street, so you can trust me. I have a career. I'm a Wall Street careerist. That's how you know you can trust the show. Other shows are bought and sold that are in the media industrial complex. A lot of people, they talk about this shit, and then guess what they do? They interview those fucking people the following week. You know who I'm talking about. I don't do that. I will never interview the people that I ridicule because it ruins the legitimacy of what I'm doing here, okay? I am not friends what I gotta wrap it up, but what is this thing where like suddenly the comedians are friends with the elites? What is this thing where comedians are like what they want now is they want to be the punk rock anti-authoritarian rebels, and they also want to attend Trump's inauguration, and they want the red carpet rolled out, and they want to ball out, and they want to smoke cigars with Peter Thiel. You can't have it both ways, okay? And I am making a commitment live on the show to tell you guys that if I sell out, I'm taking all of you with me. And by that, I mean we're doing a mass suicide. All right, bye.